Reality of you coverage of Challenge All Stars. We're talking episode 3, and I got my man Nehemiah Clark. Whoa! Did we pick the right episode to have you, or what?
You might have. You might have.
Did you plan that shit?
Yeah.
Did you
called me. You called me.
Well, you could have been like, oh man, see, my dog's not doing good today, but next week sounds real good.
It's funny because I didn't even see it until right before this show.
Yeah, me neither.
I didn't see it.
I usually watch in the mornings, and I took my daughter Piper to school this morning, and I was on my way back, and I got some calls to show some houses, and then I decided to cut my grass, and then I was like, oh my god, like so at I don't know, like right around the time you were watching, I start watching, and right before you had the conversation with Mark Long on who you want out, it freezes. I'm like, what the fuck? My internet stopped. Like I go over there, I look at my internet, it's fucking flashing lights. I'm like, oh my god, because I have great internet here, and I'm like, what's going on? And so then just my world turns into a panic. I'm like, okay, where can I go to watch this? Where can I bring my laptop to do the podcast? Like my entire world came crashing down, and then like I just unplugged it, and I was like, okay, here we go. All right,
sometimes that's all it takes. Turn it on and turn it off.
That's it. So we're talking episode 3, but before we do, we got a couple questions. What were you thinking when you got the phone call? I mean, did you see Mark Long's online campaign, the We Want OGs thing, and were you just were you like, come on, let's make this happen? Like, where are you at? Where are you at during this whole process?
So I actually got the call very early on when Mark was about to start campaigning it. I was actually in Kansas City where I am now, and we were filming Friends and Benefits. So we had a bunch of people from the challenge coming in, and we were shooting during the quarantine and the pandemic. And Mark called me and was like, hey, I'm thinking about pitching this. If this is something that I pitch, would you be interested? I was like, definitely. It's been 10 years, but I'm around all of these current challenge people and I'm sizing them up. I'm like, yeah, I match up pretty well. I think I still got a good run in me. So that was the beginning of it. And then it just started to snowball and then get bigger and bigger and bigger.
So, and then you get like Buena Murray is just like, hey, is it a yay or is Mark making the calls? Hey, they said yes. Are you saying yes? How does that?
So basically then it was about trying to get it picked up. So he was pitching it so many different places, and then Buena Murray was interested. So, he let us know Buena Murray was interested. So keep our fingers crossed. We all had our fingers crossed. And then once they, wanted to jump aboard, what happened was it was about him sending them just this big list of people who said that they were interested, and then them choosing who they want off that list. So I was fortunate enough to be one of the names that they picked off that list, and it was very cool to just be a part of the process from the very beginning. And it was just like, this is an idea. Some people got the call when it was already picked up and everything.
Sure.
But to see it going and then helping with the internet campaign, and anytime I did, I'm like, anything in the gym, just hashtagging We Want OGs, and just trying to keep it relevant.
And why do you think so much lesser of the people that got a call later?
A lot of reasons.
Try to trick you, but you can't. When you're an OG, that's how shit goes down.
Yeah, too good.
Were you upset it wasn't the challenge OGs?
Yes and no. I think that as we were going on, we started seeing that it was a work in progress, but I think that the fact that they called it All Stars allowed them to make it as big as they did. I think if they would have made it just OGs, then they could have just had it being like backyard games and stuff. But since they called it All Stars, now it's going to raise the bar of the people that they keep inviting, and the games have to be higher because it's not just older people. Now it's All Stars. So I think that is going to work for the benefit later on.
So initially, and I've had now, we're on episode 3. I've had a couple weeks to think about this. So initially, it's called All Stars and not OGs, and thank God it's not Legends because we're saving that shit for Survivor. So don't go there. But at first, I was a little pissed off that Darrell and Anissa are there because I'm just like, man, they were just on the regular season of the All Star or the regular season of the Challenge, Double Agents. Anissa's going back. She's on season 37, rumor and innuendo. We don't know for sure, but she is. She's on every season. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, maybe she's gonna break protocol too.
Yeah, maybe she'll break protocol. So maybe she won't be.
How else is she podcasting?
Yeah. But I was sitting there thinking, I'm just like, this is bullshit. I only want the OGs to play this thing. I don't want Darrell, and I like Darrell, and I like Anissa. Truth be told, I mean, she could take a couple challenges off here and there. It'd be all right. I ain't gonna be mad at her. So yeah, I'll miss her more. She's gone. That's what I'm saying.
So why do you think less of Darrell and Anissa?
Well, no, I didn't want them on.
Yeah, no.
No, I didn't want them on because I'm just like, man, this is but then I started thinking about it. I'm just like, all right, if Survivor decides we're gonna do Survivor Legends because they saved the name for us and not you guys, and we're gonna do this on Paramount Plus, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's all I want. Like, y'all can have CBS, do that shit. Streaming's fine with me. Like a smaller, a tighter schedule for people with families and real jobs that don't do this fucking. This is fucking perfect. I'll do the legend shit, but I'm sitting there thinking, say I do that, and they just between every 2 seasons of Survivor, they do like a Legends deal, and they keep inviting me back, or they don't, whatever. But I do that. But then say Survivor 50 or Survivor 100, they're like, it's called Survivor the Greatest, and we've invited the greatest players ever, but you're not invited because you did this fucking legend shit. And I'm like, whoa. So if that's the case, I'm taking a step back, and I'm like, all right, I'm cool with Darrell and Anissa doing this.
Yeah, I think for all of us, I think when we started kind of hearing the names floating around, I think that some of them started to drop off towards the end. So they had to kind of grab some people. And I think that that's where the title also had to start changing, because originally what they wanted couldn't really happen the way that they did want. And I think some of us were thinking that too, like, they're on the challenge now. That kind of changes the dynamic because, originally it was going to be people who haven't been on the challenge in at least, 5 at least 5 years. I mean, you look at me 10, 8, some people 18. So, you look at who's going to do a better job in the challenge, someone who's currently on versus someone who hasn't been on in 18 years or 15 years. Obviously the advantage is there, but I do understand what you're saying. And I think that we all just got to the point that we were happy it was happening. And at some point we were like, you know what, this is happening. This is the first season. Anything could fall through, COVID, whatever. So we don't care who's on it now. Let's just make it happen. Let's get in this house, and then we'll worry about everything else.
And if you're going to take 2 people from a recent season of the challenge, and even just the last one, you ain't got a problem with Darrell and Anissa.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, you're bringing, like, if Big T's there, and we love Big T, but if Big T's there, is like, come on, man.
Yeah. Because when you look at some of the oldest pictures of the show, Anissa and Darrell are there.
Yeah.
So, it's like they really are in that category. They just happen to be currently filming.
Yeah. Have you been called for any of the seasons since your last season and it just didn't work out timing wise, or were you guys just non-communicado?
I got called to be an alternate on a couple of seasons after that. And then after that, it just kind of fizzled out and I didn't really get any more calls, but it was never a falling off period or anything. I think that the company, just like any production company, always goes through different changes. And I think at that time, that's when contractually things were changing with the challenge, because that's when they were going into only buying shorter amounts of episodes. Like, we're only going to extend it for like 3 seasons or 2 seasons, because at some point it was rumored that the challenge was going to stop. Like, we really thought that the challenge was done. So, I think that they started bringing in new people, and some older people got phased out, cast members like me and things like that. So it just took a different turn.
And when
sorry, I was gonna say it's funny you mentioned like the older people are going out because you're not old, Nehemiah. Like, especially when you're looking at who they're bringing in, even as rookies now. Like a lot of the people that are playing they're not in their early 20s. They're in their mid 30s or early 30s. Late 20s are like the youngest now, typically. So like, has this season? Do you feel like the people who produced your All Stars is looking at some of you going, they impressed me. I think we could jump them back up to MTV and have them on a full season.
I think some of us were thinking about that. I think some of us were kind of looking at it like the D League, where there's always some scouts in the crowd, thinking about maybe moving some people up. So there's some people who say that they want to do the regular challenge, but once that first challenge happened, they changed their mind. It was just like
the senior rec day.
According to Tech, the senior rec day.
But that was an eye opener.
Big time.
We have someone here who did well.
Someone did.
That is true. Nehemiah, I have a question. Was there anyone on this season that wasn't out there that you expected to be?
That I expected to be there, meaning like we all thought that they were going to be there. And
we all thought they were going to be there.
No, but I know like Abe had some issues, so we all kind of. I think he got like some COVID issues ended up happening, so I think he was supposed to be there, and then that didn't happen. So mostly just him. But I think we all kind of started catching wind because, a lot of the top people were dropping off. I think initially when they heard it, they were, yeah, let's do it. And then once they started realizing what it was going to take and the time they had to be away from their families and, the quarantine time. And I think it started hitting them like, oh, I can't be without communication for a month, or, I can't sit in a hotel room for 14 days without a laptop or anything. So I think it started hitting them closer to the end of them signing contracts and stuff. So a lot of things changed.
Yeah, it is a shortened season, which was Mark's idea. It's just like, hey, a lot of us, still think we could do the challenge and would do the challenge. However, we have jobs and families, and the quote unquote kids playing today, they're professionally doing this. This is their job. They do a challenge, they get ready for the next challenge. And with you guys, it's like, hey, here's a shortened season. It's like perfect, but one caveat: COVID. Quarantine.
And it adds a whole nother level to it because you're sitting in that room and you back in the day, it was go from airport to main airport where all the cast members met. And then you go to whatever country you're going to, and then you go to the house. So it was, that anticipation, it was shorter. Now it's boom, fly to a place, go to a hotel, maybe see a cast member, maybe don't, sit in a hotel room by yourself, get COVID tested every day. Now fly. Now you go and you get to see everyone, but now you have to fly somewhere, and then you have to be in a hotel, and then now you have to not see anyone anymore. So it's kind of it's a weird process where you get a little bit of human interaction, then they take it away, and you have to try to keep not only sane but healthy right before you go and do probably one of the hardest competitions of your life.
Wow. So, and real quick, as far as the casting, like a lot of the casting, in addition to the production, has that big turnover. And when that new turnover happens, there's recency bias in the casting. I mean, like I know like 40 for Survivor was initially going to be legends and then switched to winners at war. And when they called some of the legends, like I have a friend of mine, they got a call, and this guy is married with kids, and and they call him up. They're like, hey, would you like to play? And he was like, sure. And they're like, you're a single guy, right? And he was like, wow, do you know anything about me? Like, I have a wife I've been with for 30 years. I have kids. My kids have been on the show. And they're like, no, we don't.
No,
we don't care. We really don't. So, but yeah, it's not, because back in the day you had, the person that casted you is the person that, for future seasons, it's like, hey, don't forget about my guy Nehemiah. Yeah. And then when that person goes away, the next person is looking out for the person they got cast on the show.
Yep. Yeah. And that's how that's it translates in any area of television. Certain producers like to work with certain actors, certain directors like to work with certain first ADs, and everyone likes to work with their people. And it's and it's no different when it comes to the challenge.
Yeah, it's not like anyone, stopped liking Nehemiah. It's just,
right. It's just that different people in here got different number ones and number twos.
There you go. So, well, I've loved you this whole time. When's the last time I saw you? Vegas?
Yep.
Oh man.
Yep.
I'll save it for the end of the podcast. I tell people ask me, they're just like, dude, I bet you have some crazy stories, and I can honestly tell you the best Jonny Fairplay stories I've ever heard. I've heard from someone else because I don't remember them. So if think about it at the end of the podcast, if you got one, I bet you might.
Okay.
I'll probably be hearing it for the first time myself, so I'm pretty excited.
Okay.
So talking episode 3 of the Challenge All Stars, it starts off with Ruthie and Tech Money recreating their first time meeting on the Real World New Orleans, jumping in the water together, naked. Man, home run. So far, you guys have been destroying double agents as far as previously on.
We really have. I mean, that one with Darrell and Derek, so good.
Yeah.
It's just funny, and I like this one because it wasn't a callback to the last episode. It was actually calling towards what they were going to discuss because it was going to be the Rufy and Tech storyline today. So you're sort of like, oh, they're just doing something fun, and then they go forward and like, for people who don't know Rufy and Tech, like, yeah, this is their background, this is the fun stuff that they did, and then they show the replay of that, and you're like, oh, it all makes sense now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. Did you guys think about previously ons during the day, or did production just grab you and say, hey?
It started out with production grabbing us and then us having fun with it.
Love it.
Like, hey, this would be a good one. Hey, come over here. Hey,
yeah.
We're gonna give you this. So then we start having fun with it and just being creative because there's a lot of downtime sometimes in the house.
Yeah.
So you could cameraman just sitting there waiting for something to happen, especially with this older crew. Not as much action as the regular house, but we all started to pitch in with that.
I love it. That makes me so happy to hear that. So and were you guys like on a 2-day shoot schedule? So like daily eliminator day off, or
we were doing more like challenge day, next day elimination, next day challenge day, next day elimination. So it was compact.
Yeah. Love it.
Maybe like 2 or 3 days off at the most, but you still have interviews and stuff. So you never really have like a day off.
Yeah. Like a lot of people are complaining, Survivor is 39 days and due to COVID and all that stuff, they've shortened it to a 29-day season. And, and all these old survivors are like, man, back in my day, we did. And I'm just like, motherfucker, think about like, we would have, challenge, we'd have reward challenge, community challenge, tribal, and in between, like either in between or the next, we'd have a day off. Those days off are the worst days of your, like, you're like, I'm so bored, like this sucks, and the longer the season goes, you're malnourished and and everything, so you're doing nothing. They're not getting footage.
Right.
Like it's just us going, please let us do something today.
Mm-hmm.
So they've shortened it to a 29-day season, which is essentially the same exact fucking game that we played, minus the fucking dates. So the schedule that they have you on it seems to be exactly what they're doing with the new version of Survivor that I have no problems with. I'm not going in my front yard shaking my fist at the sun. I'm okay with it. So we do see in the previously on, Nehemiah, you won the lifesaver last week. How did that feel?
Not great.
Just anticlimactic, right?
Yes, it's I mean, it's better to win on a guy's day. Let's just put it that way. So you don't want to win on a girl's day.
Well, this is the second time we've seen, a lifesaver being won, and it's like, no big deal. Like, it's just like, hey, we voted. Like, why am I going to go against the vote? We're good. Not this episode. Man, this shit changed quick in the real in the challenge house.
Yeah, Kendall. Yeah, Kendall was going crazy.
She's a wild cracker. Kendall is we learn from Yusela. She's like a Komodo dragon. Would you agree with that assessment?
I didn't get that assessment.
I don't feel she described it. I felt like there was descriptors following it, but I don't feel that they had anything to do with the Komodo dragon.
Okay, yeah, I was like, is she? Wait, I don't get it. No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. So next, we see that you're. We see you talking with. I have trouble. How do you pronounce it?
Jimmy.
Jemmy. We see you talking with Jemmy, and you're looking to learn something from Jemmy, and it appears as though it's a political strategy. But I feel like you learn something else from Jemmy.
What's that?
Utensils. Were you having a cutlery lesson? was that
I feel like everything was a lesson.
I just found it interesting during that scene of you you're really showing to the confessional I got the physical part down. Like that, I'm not worried about the physical stuff. It's that social, political game that maybe in my past I wasn't as good with. But as we see you through these first few episodes, I felt we were sort of seeing the opposite from you. Where like Nehemiah sort of in the middle of all the conversations, he's sort of put himself in a good position. I hear on the after shows that like you strategically put yourself in rooms where so you're close to Mark Long, you're close to the new people, you're close with the old people, and you really like interweaved yourself almost instantly. So like, was that truly what you were thinking? Like, I still need to learn more.
I think so, yeah, because I think that it's bigger than just like putting yourself in a room. You know, as you go on and in the game, what you start to notice is every move that you make matters. So the deeper the game gets, the different strategies that you may have to add, because when one person leaves, changes the dynamic, depending on how they got called in. There's so many different aspects of it. So I think that, you know, I was willing to learn from anyone who I felt like could teach me, and then also, you know, try things that I felt like were the right way to go just from studying the show and stuff. So I think it was a mix of trying to take advice from people, like listening to Mark and listening to Jimmy, and also doing things that just felt right and weren't really out of character, because the one thing that I didn't want to do was like be someone who I wasn't. And I think one of the most important lessons for me in that, and also with showing, is that, you know, you can go outside of yourself, but you don't have to change yourself. And that was the most important thing that I wanted to stay true to while learning the political game.
Was there more to that conversation between you and Jemmy, simply because I know she came to you and said you really have to make those different alliances and get in good with a certain amount of people, because ultimately they're deciding your fate and who goes into eliminations. So was she trying to corral a group of you together, or were you guys just having that one-on-one conversation where she was just trying to help you?
I think for that time, it was more of a one-on-one conversation. There was corralling that was happening outside of that. But I think for that situation, it was more so of just trying to find out like who you can make close to you. You know what I mean? Because you can always try to corral numbers and stuff, but who can you actually bring in close and take to the final with you? Because those are two different things. A vote and someone that you can count on to take to the final with you are, you know, those are different responsibilities and different roles.
Man, you're ready for Survivor, brother.
So we cast Survivor players on this show.
That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to stack my legend season.
I'm down. I'm down. I would do it.
we have in the comments, Andrea S says Komodo dragons hunt and ambush prey, and they have a venomous bite. Does that describe Kendall?
No.
Okay.
I don't think she has a venomous bite.
No,
I don't think she has viciousness in her.
No.
I think she's just indecisive of a person.
Yeah, what's an indecisive creature? I don't know. All right. So it's now time for Cyrus and Beth to play name games. So we have nicknames. I was ready, like I was panicking because like I just have my iPhone and I go on notes and I take my notes that way. Like Matt Bischoff, when he does the podcast, he has the legal pad and he can scribble much faster than I can type. And so I'm like, oh fuck, please don't do 20 fucking names right here, Cyrus. I'll kill you. So, but we don't. We only get a couple. We get Roof on Fire for Ruthie. We get Kendall for Kendall, and we get Beth to Death. And I didn't. Did they just go with Tenderoni for you? Is that?
They didn't give me one. They didn't. They didn't say it on the thing, but
well, I know they didn't
say.
It
it was Psycho Buddha.
Psycho Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Wow,
Psycho Buddha.
You know that's fitting because when we get to the elimination, I wrote in just because of how your mannerisms were. I was like, oh, he's a Zen assassin. And he's like he's ready. It's all peaceful. He's like, oh, I'm gonna cut your throat, kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an assassin. Like Psycho Buddha. I am very Zen. And then when it's time for competition, it's something changes.
I love it. So was Tenderoni out there in the mix at all, or we moved on? 10 years later,
it wasn't out there in the mix. It was it was more so Beth saying it, and
okay.
Yeah, everyone moved on in the house. So anytime, like she was saying in the beginning, and it was like okay, and then towards the middle, it's like all right, everyone's past it.
Move on.
Yeah.
Turn the page.
Okay. Well, it was a great callback episode 1. I gotta say, like, one of my favorite moments in talking with a lot of others that watch the show, they're like, I'm getting texts, they're like, Tenderoni. I'm like, right?
It's out of everything that I've done in the challenge.
Tenderoni. And Beth's over 50, right? That's insanity.
Yeah.
Beth looks exactly the same.
Maybe better, right?
Maybe
we should compare some pictures. I think she might look better. I could be wrong.
I never hooked up with Beth. That's like one of the
Yeah, I didn't either. I never hooked up with her either.
But now, I mean,
that's
a strong 50.
That is. Because I think as men, you're always wondering what a woman's going to look like later. I mean, now
I know. Yeah. So yeah. No, I think a lot of people are kicking themselves right now. They're like, motherfucker.
Yeah. But I think, yeah. But I also feel that. But yeah, I feel like this scene also implicated. It's showing a little more. And what I like about this season is they're not trying to show everyone, but they're allowing the story to sort of come with the episodes and like this is Jemmy's real episode coming in. Like she had a little bit in the first episode, but this is her, like you're hearing from Mark and from Beth and like, oh, we like Jemmy. Like Jemmy's in our group. And so it's just showing, it's like further showing about her having to say it. This is the political game in action right here. You're getting everyone to just feel like, oh, she's connected to me.
Yeah, and she's really good at that. And that's why I wanted to learn from her. I think that there's a few people in the house who play really good political games, but a lot of them aren't going to tell you what they are while you're there. Like they're not going to have that conversation with you. So, I appreciate her, opening up, especially because we were competitors. So we weren't team members.
Yeah, and a lot of people have their number ones, and like outside their number one, you only share so much under the learning tree because you're a fool if you do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So no, that was really cool. I enjoy that. So we then learned that Beth loves Jimmy, and they are Madonna and Britney.
And the songs just keep hitting.
The songs are great.
And to drive this home, we get Material Girl by Madonna. I was going to pull the record, but I'm saving my record pull of the week. And I got to give a shout out to I won't give his whole. I don't know if I'll get him in trouble. But my boy Pete is the music guy for this, and we've chatted. And his favorite show growing up was Survivor. I'm one of his favorite Survivors ever, and he's just like, holy shit, Jonny Fairplay is putting over the music I picked. Dude, everyone I've talked to it ain't me. I mean, I love it, but it ain't just me. How fucking awesome is the soundtrack to your show?
It's the best thing about it. You know, I would like to think it's me, but no, it's really the music. And I've never, I mean, honestly, between the editing, the angles, all of the comedy that they add in, the timing, like the score to this is like it should win an award. It's definitely award worthy when you think of television and how well this is put together. This is like an award winning scoring for any show, especially a reality show.
And the callbacks, it brings you back to when you heard those songs, and by doing that, it brings you back to when you watched the challenge back when you played and back when I watched. So he's making emotional connections with these song selections that it's just home run. So God bless you.
Because you have to look at the emotional connections that are in the house. Yeah. So you can't not do those credit with the music, you know, so the music has to be able to convey the same emotion that's in the house with these people who have history from 12, 20 years. You know, it's like there's emotion in there. These aren't people who we just met in the airport. These are people, I mean, Ace, I helped him buy a pair of jeans like 15 years ago, and he brought it up on the challenge, you know, so it's like
I still had them.
He does. He's like, dude, I still have those jeans, you know, so you know, that the reason why everyone is feeling what they're feeling is because this is genuine across the board. It's not just the music that's emotional. It's the connections in the house that are emotional, and then the music, and then the editing that adds to it. So this is literally like a complete package when it comes to all of the elements just working together nicely.
Yeah, this is my favorite part of 2021 so far. I mean, I got the Johnson & Johnson shot, so hopefully I'm going to live going forward. But other than that, fucking the Challenge All-Stars in here. I mean, as I said, like if I were picking the song, like right over there, I have 2,000 albums. Like my vinyl collection is insane. And like I'm like, I got that. And if I were to pick the songs, I'm just like, I think I do a pretty good job. Pete's kicking my ass. So,
Yep. Agreed.
So, hell yeah, Pete. Keep them coming.
Good job.
So,
Pete.
Next, Tech Money gets naked. It should come as no surprise. I'm guessing that's not his first, because we hear Yasela later in the episode. She's like, you know, I don't want you to go. You're the only person I want to see get naked around here. And so I'm guessing he gets naked a lot. And this isn't the only moment that was captured, or this might be the only moment captured, but not the only moment that this happened.
It's not the only moment captured, and not the only moment that happened.
Tech Money just don't like clothes, does he?
He's a free spirit, man.
Oh, and in every sense of the word, sense of the word, and he makes you want to get naked. You know, it's like he doesn't care so much. You start to not care. You know, like, oh yeah. Clothes are optional.
Should he get naked, or like Richard Hatch on the first Survivor? You know, the Godfather of reality television. Like Richard loves getting naked. He's known as the naked guy in Survivor, but anyone will tell you, and Richard will reluctantly back it up. He's a grower, not a shower. So, so maybe Richard shouldn't get as naked as he does. Is Tech Money all right?
Well, that would be considered body shaming. So.
Right on the money.
I think that everyone should be able to get naked, whether they are a grower or shower. So all of you growers out there, do not feel like you can't get naked.
I think
he's just have to cover that snake up.
Yeah.
Listen to Mark.
I think Nehemiah has given Tech Money credit for confidence more so than anything else. But that
anyone who gets naked, confidence. Anyone, you know, like if you get naked in front of people, it adds an inch or two.
That's true. All right. Next, we learn Ruthie doesn't like the clicks in the house. Ruthie, I'm sorry. That's what this game is. And she is not for this. But I mean, I remember back, like I would see you every year at the Vegas Bash, but I would see Ruthie in LA with Derek and Katie and everybody. And is Ruthie choosing to be an outsider here? Because I feel she's more in the clique than she thinks she is.
I think that yes and no. It's like, depending on the clique, there's only so much that you're able to get in. And get in could just mean them calling you in when they're drinking and having fun and making you feel like you're a part of something. But the moment that, it comes to saying, will you make sure no one votes for me or vice versa, they don't want to have that talk and they pretend like they don't do challenge talk. So, they're, you know what I mean? So they're, people can be nice, but they'll pretend like they're not going to do challenge talk with you. And the next thing you know, you hear them doing challenge talk with someone else. And you're like, I thought you don't do challenge talk, So it's like, she's right to feel that way. Those rooftop meetings, you hear them and you see them. So she's right to feel that way, but it does take effort to try to put yourself in them, because just because you're not in them doesn't mean you can't get in them. If you're willing to try, you might be able to get in some, or you might not. But the people who don't like to try, they instantly start to feel outcasted. And the moment you feel outcasted, you start to lash out. And we saw it with Ace. We're seeing it with her now. You see these little groups of people talking, so you don't feel like you're part of that. No one's calling you over. So, it's just human nature to feel isolated and it's not fair. And, they're mean people.
Is step one just stand beside Mark Long?
No.
Oh, good.
I was in his room and I'm not even in his alliance.
Wow. We have Mark Long next week. We're going to confront him on that.
I tried to get in so many times. He wouldn't even admit that I know there was one. He still won't admit it to this day. It's like, I know come on, man.
I love it.
But with that, that conversation that Rufy's having with Arissa, I think Arissa says something that I think really shows, I guess, the shortcoming that Rufy has for this game as we are seeing so far. And she says, be a mirror back to what you're shown. And Rufy's like, yeah, I can't do that. She wears her heart on her sleeve, and there's no problem with wearing your heart on your sleeve. But there's sometimes where you're in a game, you have to figure out, well, when can I really show what I'm feeling, and when should I just be a little more reserved? It's not being fake, but people think that that's being fake. But really, it's just knowing your time and place on how I can react, and it's all social cues.
Mm-hmm. And people they like to loosely throw out the term fake, because really it's an easy way to say I don't feel like putting the work and doing what's uncomfortable and what's hard for me, and that's being a social butterfly when I don't really feel like I can.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, what I do appreciate about Ruthie, though, is she's not afraid to call people out, but it's all about timing, because if you do it at the wrong time, it's such a turnoff for other people, depending on what the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Not a few drinks in, as we learn on every challenge, the best time not to have a discussion in which you're emotionally invested is.
Shout out to you, Josh Martinez.
Yes, Josh Martinez, pay attention here. He's on quarantine right now. He's not. No, he doesn't have internet. All right, so next is it's time for the challenge. It's Melt Away, and Arissa has seen this before. Katie's seen this before. Derek's seen this before. Mark's seen this before, and thank goodness they did not show Anissa seeing this before, because Anissa has seen every challenge. She would be wasting valuable airtime. Her saying, "Oh yeah, yes."
Well, I'm not sure if Mark saw it because he was too busy only seeing Mike the Miz Mizanin.
Well, I mean, my boy the Miz had a nice match against Bad Bunny last Saturday night.
He did.
And shout out to the Miz, Miz and Mrs. season 3 premiere.
I want to say season 3.
Yeah, Monday nights premiere. I watch fucking Miz, his fucking house. Nehemiah, what the fuck did we do wrong?
Not get to the WWE.
I don't know.
So many things.
Like I look. I'm just like, man, I'm doing all right. Life is good. And then I watch fucking Miz and Mrs. and see Miz's fucking castle, and I'm like, fuck, hidden rooms. Yeah, I got a hidden room. It's called the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only hidden room. So yeah, man. I made it's when you should have turned left and you went right. I made too many rights. So
did you? You know, I mean, I feel like we're still breathing, and as long as you're still breathing, that opportunity is there. And when we see those things, it's just a reminder of how far we still can go, because he came from the same type of show that we came from, and that stuff's still available. The only difference is we actually have an advantage because we can get it faster and easier than he can. He had to go through years and years of body slams and turnbuckles and airplanes. We can literally create a podcast and make just as much as he did in 12. You know what I mean? So it's like the grass is always greener, but it's so beautiful to see how far we can take all of the little opportunities that we have. And, you know, you've taken your opportunities further than some other people who had it. So they're looking at you saying the same thing you're saying about The Miz, and he's looking at other people saying the same thing, but grass is always greener.
At The Rock based on that house. That's about the only.
That's right. He only has The Rock above him, you know, but I mean, we're all going to be like, whoa, maybe I should have did acting. You know, we could always find it, but I think that you did right. We all did right, and we're right. I
think we're doing good. So but that one right at Albuquerque is all I needed. We had the distribution of the teams, and once again, you don't need copper and silver and gold. Like, come on, man. Blue, red, green, so we know who the fuck is on who the fuck's team. Stop
silver and gray are the same color. I'm literally like, I don't know which one's which. I'm looking only at the team captain here.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's all you're thinking trophy. Fuck that. Red, blue, and green, we're fine. So the teams are allocated, and I'm looking there, and I'm like, odds on favorite to win this thing, legit, Team Copper. They got some meat over there. There's some meat.
What happened?
And then I'm
like, yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I heard my team. I'm like, yeah,
we won. Like just I mean, like,
the bag.
TJ, do we even need to finish this? Can I go ahead and have that lifesaver back? I'll give it to whoever needs it. It's fine. We good. So, no. And then we have Gray Team. No meat.
No meat.
No
all
meat.
Veggies.
All veggies.
How did they even determine these teams? Was it completely random? Because I'm sorry, just based on what the challenge was, to me, it was completely unfair.
Who, you know, there's this bag and he pulls the names out. So, you know, I hope it's
okay.
random.
So it's completely random.
Yeah, he opens the bag and goes,
Guess they'll go there or
yes, it's a funny process. And whenever it's happening, we're all like, that seems so random. But it was it was, we should have won.
Odds on favorite. And so we're sitting there. We have some. Did Darrell really pee on the ice?
He's not. A lot of people peed on the ice.
What?
So many people. Yes, the girls, the guys, so many people.
Did you pee on the ice?
I tried. I couldn't. Got shy.
A little stage fright.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got a story I tell on the Patreon Q&A that we're not gonna tell that one here.
Hey, you know, like Cyrus said though, you gotta do what you gotta do when 500K's on the line.
I'm with it. So it comes time. You guys are putting it all in. You're getting a little raw, and I'm like, God damn it, Pete. Do you fucking rule or what? A little shimmy, old dirty bastard. Motherfucker, you're my man. How fucking did you expect to hear old dirty bastard on a television show you were on?
You know, yes. Every television show I'm on, I expect to hear old dirty bastard. You know, it's God. Like, come on, it's the Osiris, rest in power. It's like, I feel connected to all of these artists now. You know,
oh my God, I popped I literally jumped up out of my seat because like, you know, it starts with Material Girl. I'm like, I got that. I'm like, you know, all right. I mean, like, people like Madonna.
A lot of people got it. Yeah, a lot of people.
She posted a pic on Instagram this week. I'm just like, all right, Madonna, you good? We I'm with that. So, but then Osiris, I'm just like, yeah, big baby Jesus, bring it. I got it. Let's go.
Man, you know. That was my funniest. I'd laugh so hard on that. I was laughing so hard on that challenge. I don't know why. That was the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, and before they give you the hammers, it's very entertaining watching you guys having to try to figure out how to do it. You have like Latarian go like, I really hope this is the episode my mom does not watch. Like, you're like, oh, I'm embarrassing my family. And then you have Kellyanne.
Oh,
It's just and I'm like, throw back to the last time she did. I'm like, oh, yeah.
holy
Fantastic.
moly.
Nice camera angles.
Were you in peripheral of Kellyanne?
Yeah.
So did you just stop?
No.
Well, I assure you, if I were on your team, we would definitely get last place because not only would I be staring at Kellyanne, I would be helping her in any way she asked me to.
Yeah, no, not when 500,000 is on the line. You'll look at it later.
God.
You'll look at it later. You'll be like, you'll look over and be like, yeah, that's nice. All right, let's go. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money on the line, especially elimination. It's like, I don't care how hot you are.
Oh my God.
She killed it, but we were all in the zone because that was a lot of work, honestly. You don't got time to look up and be like, oh, that's sexy. You're sitting over there running back and forth. You're sweating. You're tired. You don't know where you are. You're like, and also you're mad at the other team. You're not looking at them like they look hot. You're mad at them. Like, why are they ahead of us? I hate them.
I'm pretty good at faking my way through a challenge.
I don't think you'll be able to fake your way through this.
If I'm pretending to do some shit and Kellyanne's doing that, I'm so busted. They're like, you ain't doing shit. I'm just like, huh? Yeah, Kellyanne would get me in trouble with my own team.
Yeah, she would. Yeah, she would. Shout out to Kellyanne. She's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Holy moly. Kellyanne, I'm in love with you. Just put it out there. I don't know.
Latest one.
Yeah. So I would like you on the podcast. I do one without anyone else. It's really
But you said no one had time to look up, but there was one person who was able to look up. Arissa was trying to get a sign from her ancestors and the sun that bring it. And I just love Tekko's confession. Like, well, you should have called the damn spirits before we got here.
Yeah. I did have such a good line.
And we get what if God was one of us during that little segment, which I thought was perfect. So TJ can't take it. He's like, fuck this. So what happened here? What was it supposed to be, a warmer day and they expected the sun to melt the ice, or was the hammer always gonna be part of this thing?
I mean, they had enough hammers for everybody.
Yeah. And they had goggles.
So I'm assuming that that's a lot of ice. You cannot look at that whole amount of ice and then think that we have to do it times 2. We didn't even get past the first one by the time they gave us the hammers. They're like, this is ridiculous.
How long?
How do you test it?
Hammers.
I feel like it was a couple of hours.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, definitely. And a couple hours later, you see that you've really made no progress. And it's like you still have that much to go, even get close. You're like, this isn't happening. This isn't happening at all.
So, but do you think if it's warmer, it particularly
maybe, yeah,
possibly goes.
Yeah. If it not warmer but hot.
Yeah, just hot.
It would have to be
like if
hot
it was
outside.
like the second episode where
when you guys are on the last eliminate daily,
right?
Like you guys were looking forward to going 30 feet into the water because it was fucking hot as balls.
Exactly.
So if it's that day, you're
better. You'll do better because we could see some of the ice kind of like dripping when the sun would hit a little bit when the sun gods came, and you could see it drip a little bit. But if the sun was beaming the whole time, I feel like it would get a consistent because it was literally just trying to melt. There was nothing else.
Okay. Fair enough. So we get the hammers, and for those of you that don't know the song, Get the Funk Out by Extreme. Deep cut, Pete. Calling you out on that. Deep cut. I mean, I thought for sure he's going hammer time.
That's what I was thinking too, especially when you have the Derek confessional, like, it's hammer time. Play the music.
Play the music. Play Get the Funk Out by Extreme. I don't know.
Oh no, he's gone for a moment. Well,
okay, so it's not me. All right, I thought
it's not you.
He does this sometimes. It's iconic Johnny moment.
Okay,
so it's hammer time. You got all it's the men's turn. Get those hammers out. Get those glamour shots. You have Kellyanne going into confessional like, oh, Alton's so hot. Wait, I can't say that. He has a family. So, yeah, he's hot. So you guys are going for that. And I remember you were very talking about, like, what we're getting closer to the shields now. This is where it has to be sculpting now. You have to be careful because how delicate were those shields? Like, because we saw some people did break them. Like, were they that fragile?
They were, because you're hitting like thick pieces of ice around it. So if you hit it once and then the ice breaks and you hit it again, done. I broke one. So it's very
how many
easy.
teams ended up breaking a couple? Because I know Mark's team broke two, right?
I think all of them broke at least one.
Yeah. They were
I was trying to pay attention to that because I saw when Jemmy's team finishes, I made a note of it because they finished it. I was like, well, they have two broken, so that has to be calling back to something. The penalties have to come back at some point. So we see Darrell's like, oh, well, when I'm on the shitter each night, I've been looking to see all the numbers of the season, so I know this by heart now. So we end up seeing, we see them win. It looked like Easy and Katie were having sort of like a back and forth for your group, like over where the seasons were supposed to be. And like Katie's commenting, like Easy seems to be getting more frustrated, even though like he should be listening to her. How was it feeling for you guys as a team once you were like trying to make sense of where the seasons were supposed to go?
I think because we tried so many times at that point, it was just a guessing game. And we were trying to use it based off of what shows everyone was on. So we were trying to do it based off of that, where other people were doing it based off of them knowing the actual order. Yeah. So our strategy was the worst, obviously, but it was difficult because you'd be like, I think I was on this one. And then if you took a gap in between your challenge, sometimes you don't know what challenge was in between that one. So you're like, I didn't do that one, but I know that these were the two in between. So it was difficult, but at some point we just kind of knew we lost. It was like,
did each team have somebody that like really was super confident? I know exactly what the order is, or was there like a specific team that had nobody that had any clue?
Our team.
So who was right, Katie or EZ?
Who was right?
Yeah.
In which way?
Because Katie and EZ were fighting about the Inferno.
I think it was like Gauntlet and Inferno.
Yeah. We never got it right.
So you have no idea.
It was probably both wrong.
Yeah, like, once you got last place, you're like, fuck it, you didn't
time
walk
expanded.
over.
And he blew the horn. Time was up.
But I would have walked over to the next one to see what the correct answer was. You were just like,
they didn't let us.
Oh, okay.
Let us. So I tried to cheat a bunch of times.
Okay. And then I know we're running. Yeah, so before we go into break, I just wanted to discuss. So we see your team loses, Darrell's teams win. So Darrell gets the safety, Kendall gets the lightsaber, which turns out that could have been a big thing for this episode if certain decisions were made. You ultimately are going into elimination, but when you guys were deciding, how did it end up being the decision where you or Big Easy was going to be the captain?
Paper, rock, scissors.
Really, it was that simple.
I wouldn't say it was simple, but
yeah,
it kind of just came down to neither one of us budging, and I was like, all right, let's do a paper, rock, scissors. And then I learned how dumb that was later on. And, so for me, it was learning process, but I was trying to play the game as fair as possible. And instead of saying like, no, because I've already volunteered, then, it should have been a lot of different conversations, but no one wanted to be team captain. We knew how hard we knew it was coming. No one was like, hey, I'll do it, So, but I also thought that we had a good chance of winning. Realistically, when you look at everything, I was like, we have a good chance of winning this. We got
on paper. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but normally on paper, that's not the people that ever win.
Well, yeah, we saw that episode 1.
Yes,
very true.
Before the record, before we get a break, I am undefeated paper, rock, scissors on reality television shows. So a lot of challenges we got to pick our placement or whatever, but I never lost to paper, rock, scissors. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
There.
Now you're gonna lose the first one you ever do.
No,
again.
I just knocked on wood. We're good.
I don't know. Let's bet on it.
Well,
He has to get on another reality TV show because he said it's on reality TV. This isn't reality TV.
It's coming.
Right here.
Legends.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this goes on the Patreon.
There we go. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back and check out our sponsors. And when it comes to eating better and consuming less sugar, let's be honest, most healthy snacks don't taste very good. They don't fill you up, and they certainly don't satisfy your cravings. This episode is sponsored by Monk Pack, who makes snacks that taste like our favorite sugary treats, but with less than 1 gram of sugar.
Monk Pack Keto Nut and Seed Bars contain less than 1 gram of sugar, 2 to 3 grams of net carbs, and they're only 150 calories.
They're great for anyone following a keto lifestyle and the perfect snack for anyone who is trying to eat better or cut back on sugar and carbs without sacrificing taste.
Yeah, that's so true. I'm personally not a keto eater, but I love these nut and seed bars. I try to have one of these always on me for a snack because I'm usually trying to train for a new running distance I'm trying to hit. I think 2021 is going to be the year for my first full marathon, and I think Monk Pack Keto Nut and Seed Bars are going to help me get there because they're giving me the energy I need and the nutrition I need to make those health goals possible.
Wow. Monk Pack Keto Nut and Seed Bars have the perfect balance of sweet and salty, a crunch from whole nuts and seeds, but still manage to be soft and chewy. How do they do it? They come in delicious flavors like sea salt dark chocolate, pecan almond, and my favorite, no contest, love these so much. Game changers, if you will, the peanut butter dark chocolate.
So good. They're perfect for a quick snack to satisfy your sweet tooth without any guilt. Enjoy Monk Pack Keto Nut and Seed Bars as a quick breakfast while running errands or after a workout.
In addition to being keto friendly, these bars are gluten-free, plant-based, and non-GMO. So with no soy, trans fat, sugar alcohols, or artificial flavors.
They really taste incredible, and you can't beat the low sugar nutrition or taste they provide. And by shopping online, you can avoid another trip to the grocery store by getting Monk Pack delivered right to your door.
Try it for yourself and see. And we have a special deal for our listeners. Get 20% off your first purchase of any Monk Pack product by visiting monkpack.com and entering promo code SURVIVOR at checkout.
And Monk Pack is so confident in their product, it's backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll exchange the product or refund your money, whichever you prefer.
So to get started, just go to monkpack.com, that's monkpack.com, and select any product, and then use promo code SURVIVOR, they love it when we do that, at checkout to save 20% off your purchase.
Monk Pack, delicious, nutritious foods you can count on, and we thank them for sponsoring the Reality NSFW podcast.
Are you ready to enter the wild again? There's a chance no one has seen your balls in a few months. Don't ruin your first post-quarantine date with a ball fro. Would you show up to your first day of school without a haircut?
Manscaped is here to provide you with the best tools for your grooming experience. Johnny, how's your grooming been lately?
Oh man, I am sleek, aerodynamic. I'm like that new Tesla. I mean, I got a bunch of 5Ks coming up. I got a bunch of half marathons coming up. Oh man, I'm gonna run so fast. There's no friction between Jonny Fairplay, little Jonny Fairplay, and home sweet home.
Oh, that's good news because Manscaped is here to help everyone else get on that level with their Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer. It's the best hygiene tool for the modern man. Because of their ceramic blade and advanced skin-safe technology, your snags will be reduced while preparing yourself for post-quarantine life. Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0 Essentials Kit. The Perfect Package 3.0 comes with the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0, waterproof cordless body trimmer, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag for you to use when you're done quarantining.
The Perfect Package 3.0 also comes with the Manscaped Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner. Now, the Crop Preserver is an anti-chafing ball deodorant, which ensures that your afternoon stroll doesn't end with your balls sticking to your leg. They call that bat winging. You can eliminate that with a little manscaping courtesy of the Crop Preserver. But the Crop Reviver is a spray-on toner for your balls. It's made with the soothing aloe and witch hazel extracts that give your balls a boost. Now, subscribers to the Peak Hygiene Plan get a new replacement blade refill for your Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months. Don't be using no old razor. Come on. And making sure your trimmer stays fresh and clean.
The light is at the end of the tunnel, fellas. Treat yourself for making it through quarantine with the Perfect Package 3.0. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com.
That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use promo code SURVIVOR. They love it when we do that. And your first date will thank you. All right. I hope Tech Money had the Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0 before he went out there.
Nice segue.
Right.
Nice segue.
Thank you. I tried. So we're back in the house, and you are well, actually, sorry, but before we get to that, Tech Money calls you out.
Mhm.
I don't was that provoked in any way?
No.
Because he says you called him out, and we have no evidence to prove that based on the footage that we saw. And then everyone else says he kind of called you out nowhere, and you say he called you out nowhere. So why?
No, so basically what happened is that after they had not won, but it was already known that we were the last team.
Yeah.
So when he blew the horn, we had already known we lost. Now the time was just up. Now we were just trying to figure it out. It was already determined that we had lost. So in between that, he started making his banter.
Mm-hmm.
Because one time they told us that we couldn't, I think it was jump up and down on the ice or something. So I look over and they're jumping up and down in the ice, but they didn't get in trouble and we just did. And I'm watching, I'm like, well, if we can't, why can they? This is a time race. I'm not about to be told no, and I have 3 other teams jumping. So after, they won, he was like, I think that's what sparked it. And once the moment that everyone knew we were lost, he just started going in, and we went back and forth for 5 minutes. So they cut a lot of it out, but we were going back and forth. And it was just I'll call you. You want to go against me? He was like, boom, boom. And I was like, I'll call you in. Keep that same energy. And then he kept going. And I was like, look, the house, everyone is here. The house is here. Let it be known. We don't need to do nominations. I want Tech, So I literally said it right there at the challenge,
So in his mind, you calling him out for doing what you got in trouble for was you calling him out in his mind, possibly.
Maybe. I think that it was because when he made the comment, you worried about our house, not worried about your house. That's what he was talking about me.
Yeah.
So he knew that, I wasn't calling them out. They were ahead of us.
Yeah.
They were beating us. So it's I'm not,
You were just saying, hey, these are the rules. They have to do the same rules we do.
Exactly.
And that makes so much more sense now with what he was doing, because he was trash talking in episode 1 after you guys won as well. So I knew eventually it was going to come back on him, because it's you can't just keep doing that and expect to get off scot-free because you're Tech. But it's him saying oh, your house is on fire. I'm going the entire time is this just old slang or something that you're throwing out there? What's the point of you saying that? That makes so much more sense now.
Yeah. And we're on the Patreon version of the podcast. We're covering Australia's version of Survivor, and this right here is a perfect illustration of the difference between Australia and the U.S. So, on Australia, they do Survivor for 55 days, and and their challenges are twice as physical as the U.S. versions, and it's brutal. And at the end of every challenge, they shake hands. They're like, good job, mate. They're hugging each other. And then when they vote people out, they give it, they're like, oh, I love you, bro. And it's just the US is fuck you. Fuck, I hope you die. And so we just watched we're on episode 21 of Australian Survivor season, their second season. And this big player go and it's all about the hugs and love. And, versus, the same week I'm watching this and you got Tech Money screaming at Nehemiah. And I'm just God bless the USA.
But in our game we played, he was really the only one who did that, though. for the most part, because whenever we won or anyone lost, we all would go up, shake hands, good job, no bloating. I mean, you saw I won on episode 2, and I didn't even celebrate once.
Yeah.
You know, it was like not one celebration. It was like, oh yeah, I won, boom, boom. All right, back to the game. You know, good job, everyone. Boom, boom, boom.
I felt like you didn't celebrate because you thought the lifesaver thing was just like, it's just like, oh, this is like it's just like you won. It's like, I ain't win shit. This shit sucks.
A win is a win, you know, like winning a daily feels good, you know, to win an individual daily, regardless of what the prize is the win in my book, going against all of those top competitors and coming out on top. So that was the win, you know. It was like, I knew I wasn't going to use the life shield, probably not, because I didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew that I liked Trishelle, and I wasn't going to do any surprises to her. So it wasn't like it was somebody who was going in there who I didn't like. Was there the potential of you using it? Like did Trishelle ever say, hey, give me Ruthie or give me Arissa? No, because she was friends with them. Okay. So she didn't want to call him in. But one of the things was we also didn't know what happened with the lifesaver. We didn't know who chose what. You know, we just knew that you could only save the person nominated. Yeah. So, and Trishelle, she felt confident going against Kendall. Yeah. I mean, so you know, there were several potential eliminators that Trishelle beats. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Yeah, not that one. But I like what you're saying there about like your daily, like the win's a win. You know, like we hear Derek of all, like for the most part, he leads this. Like the challenge is the 5th major sport. And the way I look at the challenge, if you look at it like a sport, winning these missions, winning these dailies, I feel like it helps build momentum. So like you're getting on a high streak because you're constantly winning. You get to the final, you have all the confidence in the world. You're ready to tackle anything because you're seeing you're succeeding in everything else that the challenge is throwing at you. And the final is going to just be some assortment of what's already been thrown at you.
Right. Exactly.
So we see let's see it. So it's time for deliberations. Well, before we go, we see a conversation with you and Mark Long, and you have the only Challenge Hall of Famer, you know, just like, hey, what are you thinking? You're like, what are you thinking? I'm thinking I won, and Tech Money seems like he wanted to go out there, right? That felt like a very cautious conversation by both of you.
Because we're not in alliance.
But you're in the same room.
He won't admit that there was an alliance in the house. I brought it up several times. To this day, he's still, I'm telling you, there was an alliance, and I was not in it, and we were in the same room, and we loved each other dearly, but we were not in the same alliance. So when he would talk, I would listen. When I'm like trying to understand what his angle is, I'm like, all right, does this help you or does this help me? You know, like I'm thinking that, and when anyone's coming to me with advice, the first thing I'm thinking is, who does this really help? You know. So it was a funny
like conversation. I'm not gonna let you say the names. I'll say some names here, but like
I have a question. Isn't that the strategy though, where you should actually people you are aligned with have ears in all different directions, so you shouldn't be in the same room that you're aligned with those people, so then you kind of know what the other side's thinking, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So like I try to read the scenes that they give us because like they're giving everything for a reason. When you're putting stuff on this show, they're showing you a cutscene for a reason as someone's talking. And I don't know, they show a lot of Mark, and I know Mark's also like he helped create the things, but I'm separating that. You see him constantly. He's near Big Easy. He's near Derek. He's near Alton. Like those like I guess like older school guys like before even you were on the challenge. Like were those like some if you were looking in. Someone would be like, yeah, those are the people that Mark's like truly lined up with.
I mean, you've seen less than I did, and you were able to draw conclusions like that. So I don't, it's like you're only seeing a fraction of the time. So if you're able to pinpoint that and see it that clearly, I think that they should be smart enough and understand that when I said that there was a alliance, because pretty much very clearly it was like Yes, it's you notice that types of stuff in the house because after challenges, not after the actual challenge, but after someone performs, you see who they go up to, who they give advice to, like who's coming off in the corner and trying to help the next person who's going. So there's so many things that you have to be aware of, and what conversations you're in and which ones you're not. And I was never in the ones with Mark, so this was one of the first times that, we had challenge talks. That's why it's like, hey,
yeah, like this is new.
It was so fun. I mean, if you're paying attention, you catch that. I'm sure you'd like, we analyze, reality TV. You and I have been on reality TV, so we catch this stuff. But like, it's so I could see so many people missing. They're just like, this is very awkward, and we are purposely seeing very awkward.
And that's why, everybody. That's why, because you have two people from the opposite team trying to get intel on each other.
Yeah, I love it.
It's the bullshit conversation that you have to have, but then it's just completely worthless.
Exactly. It's
Especially
not
when
because
you're
you might get something.
line.
Exactly. It's like, especially because like who you're along with, maybe someone you're thinking about calling in. So they might be wondering, oh, are you thinking about using the lifesaver? Who are you thinking about calling in? You know what I mean? Yeah. So that they can go and spread that information. So it's it was an uphill battle, man.
It was a fishing expedition.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
There we go. So Tech Money volunteers himself. Derek loves it. He was like, man, this is legend status. Oh, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. There's another side of the coin.
Yeah. And Jemmy says what I'm feeling.
Oh, Jemmy.
This is probably my favorite part of the entire episode. Fuck that. Yeah. I hate it when people volunteer themselves.
Make people say names.
Yeah. I want people uncomfortable. I want people fucking up their shit, telling me what they shouldn't be saying.
Well, but we also find out later on why Jemmy specifically wanted to be able to say a name. Like she wanted a different agenda put across, period. But I also love Tech's response in the confessional, like, dude, this ain't my funeral. I ain't gonna die. I didn't know about the peppers yet, but I ain't gonna die. And we're just going to the arena. We're playing a game. It'll be fun.
Exactly. I don't think he thought it was fun.
No,
it wouldn't have been fun if it was a pole wrestle either.
Oh my God, I was praying for a pole wrestle. I just wanted to see you flex.
I have never done a physical elimination.
Really?
Not head to head. You had the one thing on I think it was like Gauntlet 2
where I had to push but I've never done anything. No pole roll, none. I've never got to.
Would you like to do a hall brawl?
I want all of them.
All right, there you go.
Fessy and Nehemiah in a hall brawl. I'd love to see it.
Oh my God! You think you can take Fessy in a hall brawl?
No.
Okay, he's a big motherfucker, right?
I think certain games, like no matter what your strategy is just you're not going to be able to do it. I think that I have a better chance against him in a pole wrestle.
I'd love to see that. I would love to see
definitely a pole wrestle for sure. I mean, he takes up too much of the hall.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do? If we were the same size, but we just really nothing you can do in that situation. We saw when Big Easy took out Wes.
Yeah, Wes is the better physical competitor if you just talk about the challenge in general. But when you are a physical specimen, but you have Big Easy, who is big, there's not much you can do there.
Nope.
All right, so next, we get a little "We Are Family" by the Pointer Sisters. I have that on a 12-inch single, but once again,
nice.
Old Dirty Bastard is my pick, and all right, so were you talked into talking Kendall into using lightsaber, or is this something going on in the back of your mind independently?
I didn't tell her to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't tell her to use it. She brought it up. What would I do if she did use it? And I said that I would kind of think of who else I might want to go against, more so than telling her to use it. I was just preparing. I didn't know what she was going to do.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if she was going to use it or not. So I was just making sure that I was prepared and just trying to be as safe as I could, because we didn't know if she got to pick, we didn't know what was going to happen. If they brought
Or it
some
was just a
people.
revote.
So is this an independent thought of Kendall, or is this Jimmy in her head?
Independent thought of Kendall.
Okay.
And I think that Jimmy wanted to probably spring it, but I don't think that Jimmy knew that Kendall was already thinking that herself, because while Jimmy was talking about it, Kendall had already started in the morning time.
Yeah.
So when we were in the morning, I seen her talking to Tech at her yoga thing. And then she brings me over and she's like, step into my office. And I was like, oh, it's interesting. I've done yoga with you so many times. It's the first time it's in office, you know?
Yeah, right.
So she was going back and forth, like all day. And it was in her head. It wasn't Jimmy's idea.
Okay. That's good to know, because I thought, based off the scene, it was sort of making it almost feel like, because I was kept wondering, why are they showing Ruthie at the beginning of this episode? It seems like there's nothing going on about her. We see a little more later, but I'm like, only thing we know is Ruthie's closest ally is Tech. And so they start talking about it, and I thought maybe that was like Ruthie trying to get into like Kendall's head to start overthinking it, to be like, okay, let me save Tech so that Ruthie still has her friend in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
Do
Do you think a part of it is one of those deals where just absolute power absolutely corrupts?
Yeah.
I've talked to her about that, and she'll give her side of view, and she says that it was nothing like that. But I think that everybody, we're human. Everyone in that situation, you get a little bit of power, especially if you're seeing that you're getting a type of reaction that you may not have gotten. You're going to feel some type of way, and some people feel different degrees of good about it. And I think for her, it was like the first time she really felt, good, because she didn't get anything after her elimination. She actually gets something with this, it's like, you have this, and TJ is going to ask you a question on this big pedestal. And, so.
All right. Good for her. All right. Well,
didn't she also mention too that when she had that type of power, she actually used it to send herself in?
Mm-hmm.
Did I remember that correctly?
Yeah, that is what happened.
Yeah. Why would you do that?
Because she couldn't make a decision.
I know.
So
That's what I don't.
I'll just go in.
She wanted it. That's what I don't understand about the entire situation. She's the wrong person to have that.
I don't know. I think it's the right person to have it if you want fun TV.
Yeah, for TV purposes, yeah, she's the ideal person to have it.
Yeah, but the guys were not happy that she had it because they had no idea what she was gonna do.
Yeah. So,
that is true.
I don't know. I think made for a good episode, but it made for a great episode. Oh my God, we get Boys to Men. Did you? In a million years, did you think that would be the soundtrack to night 5 of your day in the house?
No, I did not. I mean, I just keep getting surprised every single time, and it's amazing, and I'm looking forward to it every single time.
So my high school senior class song was "End of the Road as We Know It" by Boys to Men. That shit sucked. If we had as our song, I would have been for it all day long. But you talk on the show, and other people talk on the show, what makes a legend? And I'm here to tell you right now, Nehemiah, legend status is achieved by betting a guy or girl in the first 5 days of All Stars. That's all. I mean, that is legend status.
That means I'm a legend now. If
in my mind,
I thought you
like,
were
no,
you get Boys to Men as you're going into bed.
Yeah. I didn't. You took it a whole different way. I wasn't expecting that, but okay, all right.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a Survivor Hall of Famer, so I'm telling you right now, if there's a Legends Hall of Fame, if I'm doing that good on day 5, I don't know if there's a Super Hall of Fame, but I better be up for consideration.
Well, we just cuddled.
Oh, you were Big Spoon.
Big Spoon.
Okay.
Big Spoon.
Well, you know what happens with big spoons.
Yeah, they stay big spoons. Some days they turn into little spoons.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations, Big Spoon. That was I'm very happy for you. All right. So while this is happening, Ruthie calls out Anissa, and holy moly. Yeah. This is something that appears to have been brewing for years and years and years. And Trishelle was smart enough to, cut that shit off, night one and be like, hey, just want to get some apologies out there. Let's have some fun. Yeah, Ruthie wasn't thinking that game plan. She was like, I'm going to wait till night 5. I'm going to get a couple drinks in. I'm going to air my grievances. And here we go. So, whoo.
She was not playing either. Like it went from 0 to 100 really quick, where she literally like, fuck you, Anissa. And that was it. And like, that was it.
It was just so crazy because like you don't see anything leading up to it. You don't see all the little pretenses that cause it that they're discussing. You just see Anissa essentially say like the straw that broke the camel's back, just going like, oh, she's just she's being her usual paranoid self.
Oh yeah,
she'll get through it. Right as she's like walking in, I'm like,
that's all it took. And
oh yeah.
So I mean, if I'm in that same situation and I'm ready to explode, and I hear the person that I'm waiting to make me explode say my name as I round the corner,
like, oh, ring the bell.
Yeah, you just lit the fuse.
Yeah. You're like, oh, you thought the elimination was tomorrow. No, the arena's here.
Yeah, the elimination's tonight. One of us is going home. It's probably me, but one of us is going home.
I want to see that matchup in the future. Ruthie versus Anissa. I'd be here for it.
So much. Pole wrestle.
Everything's a pole wrestle. No other eliminations.
Straight pole wrestle.
Pole wrestle is the best.
Yeah. It's so simplistic, but it gives so much.
It does. It does. I don't know why, because like I think in of any, like I don't think I have much chance in a lot of these, but pole wrestle is definitely at the bottom tier of my likelihood of wins. But gosh darn it, do I love a good pole wrestle?
Yeah, because there's there is no mechanics that can go wrong. Yeah. It's literally like mono or women no against a women no, and it's either you pull it or you don't, and no machine or anything could treat where someone who shouldn't win wins. No, it's like the best person will win every single time. Yeah.
What do you think is the best strategy? Like I'm thinking for me, my best strategy on a pole wrestle, we lock up and I throw the devil's triangle, the gogoplata over the triangle or over the pole and just rock back to the ground.
It depends. TJ may not let you use your legs, or you could get slammed. Ooh. And it's a little different getting slammed on the dirt than it is getting slammed on like a jiu-jitsu mat or wrestling mat. You could get slammed on those and keep going. The dirt, no, you're gonna you're gonna let go.
Well, I don't do good on the mat either.
Okay, so yeah, so you imagine you jump up and someone picks you up like this, and then.
Yeah, they do that.
You may not survive. Yeah,
I just get concussed.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, that's half the journey. It's CTE.
Okay, right. There we have it. So, so it's time for the battle, and TJ calls out Kendall, and she gives Kendall the opportunity to save Tech from himself. Mm-hmm. I think TJ was correct in his wording there. Big Easy has his uniform on underneath of his out. Did you know that before the episode?
No, but I heard rumor that a couple of them did. I think Derek may have, and they all wanted to do this. So the special moment where they rip off Derek, because this was the nicest that any of them had dressed. Okay. And I don't know if you noticed, Derek dressed all nice, his version of nice, and so did Easy. And, they're thinking they're about to do this whole thing, where it's like, I'll go in and then ruin, and they come down in their little outfit, big surprise, but they didn't get that. It's like you have moments. They don't want to take no moments. They're not as big and bold as they pretend to be. because we're not
hilarious.
because we're not seeing all of the nominations. Sometimes like people are literally sitting there and don't want to go in, and you have opportunities to be like, I'll go in. Like you really want to go in that bad. It's not hard to go into the arena. It's probably the easiest thing you can do on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't you think strategically going in early when you have Tech Money as a potential opponent is so much smarter than, waiting till all that's left is fucking Mark Long and Darrell.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely better if you have to go in earlier because you have more options. It does get harder as it goes up, and it just gets more stacked and more stacked. So if you can get it in early, definitely.
Yeah, and we saw like Derek early in the episode. He's just like, "Oh man, I don't want to go in." I'm just like, "Motherfucker, have you seen you?"
Yeah, and also, do you see him on the after show where, like, the first after show, they're asking him, "Oh, did you want to do that pole wrestle?" He's like, "Yeah, I want to do every elimination. I want to be there all the time."
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you had the chance. You were there. Like, what are you talking about? You were there. Like, there was so many times when they tried that, they tried that tough man speech while we'd be in the nominations. Well, no one wants to do it. I'll do it. And I would jump in. I'd be like, that sounds like a volunteer. You volunteering? I did that to Derek. I was like, you volunteering? He's like, oh, well, no. I was like, that sounds like a volunteer to me. If no one wants to go in, you said you're willing to go in. Let's do it. And he's like, no, well, no. If he's like, yeah. Don't talk tough. Just keep it quiet. Don't talk about the elimination at all. Do like Darrell. You never hear Darrell talking about that. Darrell's always just quiet and chill. And if I have to go in, I will.
He's got too much shit for the confessional. He ain't got time to talk
good.
about.
He has to give us all of his good liners in confessional. And that's
He's just like, man, he's like, my voice is tired from shitting on you guys all day on confessionals.
Right.
So it's Tech's first elimination ever, your first elimination in 10 years, and Nehemiah, you had the fucking swagger. I loved it. I was just, the only thing that could have been better than that was a fucking Ric Flair walk. Like, were you just feeling it?
Yeah, I was. I like that. I like that. It's an adrenaline rush, and I'm a huge fight fan. I'm a huge UFC and I'm a huge boxing fan. I've been watching and participating in that since I was a kid. So this is the closest that I get. So you never see fighters not want to go into the ring. Like that's when they shine. They've been practicing for that. So for me, that was my version of going into the ring. So I was amped.
You channeled your inner Conor McGregor.
Yeah, all of them. Israel Adesanya, Conor McGregor, Shevchenko, all of them. I channeled them all.
I loved it. So when you see what the eliminator is, are you just like, all right, I feel good about this, or are you like, this could be close?
I just you don't know what the rules are yet. So you're looking at this thing and you don't know what the rules are. And I never, ever feel like I'm just going to dominate. I always give my opponent as much respect as possible because you never know what's going to happen in there. So, because you're at the end of the day, you're making a TV show. We don't have refs. We don't have the instant replay. We don't. Sometimes you do, but not really. Only when it's a tight race. But it's not like so. There's always a chance that you're going home.
Okay. Yeah, because the last thing you ever want to do is be like, oh, Tech, no, he's done. There's nothing going on here. He's out of here. This is going to be easy. And then they show, hey, look, it's Nehemiah losing. And it's like, and it's just like, oh man, why did I say that?
Yeah, that's the worst pill to swallow, especially if you end up losing, because then you're like, probably should have not been as cocky.
Yeah.
Well, worse than swallowing a pill would be 2 Carolina Reapers. I have had a Carolina Reaper. Alex, Lauren, have you guys?
I have not. I've only seen people eat it.
Okay, my one of my buddies, Alex, he grew some last year, so I had my first one. I didn't even have a whole one. I had a part of one, and I don't know, worst thing ever. Says adequate description.
Yep, especially when you don't know what it is.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a Carolina Reaper before that?
Nope.
Yeah. I live in North Carolina, so
I've heard of it. I just watch cooking shows.
Yeah. No, I mean, like if you've ever had a habanero will make you hate yourself for 30 minutes.
Right.
That ain't got shit on a fucking Carolina Reaper. Like it's like
I think it's like 10,000.
10,000. Habanero.
It's something like that because I remember like they would go like, oh, this is the
scale.
ghost pepper, this is the Carolina Reaper, like, and it would go by scale of this is how many, like the heat of X habaneros. I'm like, oh man, never. But I see him put that black glove on. I'm like, oh yeah, he's taking something spicy out right now. But I just love you're just like, oh, do you want us to bend over?
Did you think they were checking your temperature for COVID?
I had no idea.
I'm a firm believer. The only way to get an accurate temperature reading is anally.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, that point 0.10 is huge.
But I will say I was very confused here because I feel like the way he described it and how this elimination would work was different than what actually happened. Because the way they make it come across to the viewer is you're going to eat these 2 peppers, and then immediately after you show the ref that you've eaten them, you swallowed it, and you're going. But they were like, no, you're eating it. Okay, you're going to sit for a little bit, and then you're going to run. Because I feel like there's so much more of an advantage there to you're forcing yourself to eat, and then while you're experiencing all of that fire in you, you're having to run and compete instead of like wait even more to let it settle in.
No, it's the opposite.
Okay.
Because let's say I would have won immediately, it wouldn't have got hot until after because it was such a fast elimination.
Okay.
So we had to wait 5 minutes. We had to wait 5 minutes. So you eat it, swallow it, and then you wait 5 minutes. So the timer's going off. And then you got to sit there and wait, and you just got to let it do its thing for 5 minutes. And that's when all the puking and all that stuff came. And then it was like, all right, boom, now and go. So it's definitely harder that way.
Okay.
Did you know that Tech Money like literally threw up on the go?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Like, damn, man, I'm sorry.
I do not remember it.
Yeah.
It went so fast. When I watched it, I wasn't looking at him at the jump, but this is my first time kind of truly seeing it, and I don't even remember it. It was like that,
and it was close. It was a near photo finish.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that was incredible to watch. And I was happy for him because that was his first like elimination, and he got to do his thing. I was wondering though, do you think you would have had an easier time against Big Easy doing this?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but does it matter? You know what I mean? Maybe or maybe not. Yep. You have no idea. He may have been able to eat that pepper and had zero effect on him. And it didn't slow him down at all. He could have tripped. I could have tripped, different people bring different elements. So to think that if you just replace someone, you could have beat them is hard to say because everything about it would have been different. So
the stars were just aligned that night for you versus
for that. Yep. And I thought about it, and I meditated on it. And, that's the reason why we had that talk. And it was like, no, I'm going to let it keep going how it's going. I'm going to be patient and, just focus on this task at hand right now.
Yeah, and
that's a rule that you couldn't get physical when you had to go and knock it out from a top because, and I'm thinking if you could maybe alter your opponent's path there, that could really slow them down.
Well, that's what I did. They just didn't show it. I wrapped my legs around them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he was on one side and he was coming across, and then I wrapped my legs around him, and then I punched one of mine out, and then I kind of dragged him to the other one of mine, punched it, and then hit the last one. So yeah, there was contact.
Got it. Yeah. The only reason why I asked about the Big Easy thing, because you do have that conversation with Jimmy, and I think it's like the universal conversation about the challenge whenever Big Easy is on it is everyone wants Big Easy gone. The girls want him gone because they're afraid of having to run with him in a final. And the guys want someone else to get him gone because they're just nervous about if they get the wrong matchup in elimination with him, they're screwed. And like if you go in and you actually get him out early, because he never really goes out early because of that, it sort of allows you to even more like puff your chest up and be like, okay, I took Big Easy out. I can handle any of you. So maybe
no, because Big Easy isn't Mark. Big Easy isn't Derek.
Sure.
Big Easy isn't Alton. Big Easy isn't Latarian. So you're taking out Big Easy, and it's more so he's more beneficial to them in the final than he is for the other stuff because, he's not actively like winning dailies. Yeah. So, you take him out early, you do better chance trying to take out someone who you think can beat you in the final early.
Okay.
You try to take them out early. So I would have preferred to do a Derek, or someone like that, because I'd rather take them out. Now I don't have to think about them in the final versus puffing my chest out saying I took this person out. It's about, no, I just made my chances in the final better than I did by putting the target or, because it's less about their opinion than it is about that final and how you can manufacture it to your benefit.
Got it.
So, during this challenge, they played Inside Out by Eve 6. And for those of you wondering, that is on my want list of vinyl. I do not own that. And that's Inside Out by Eve 6. So, Pete, good pick.
Yeah, Inside Out, how both their stomachs were feeling during it.
Yeah. Hit the BMG archives. Find that vinyl. Shoot it to North Carolina, please.
Yeah.
It's missing. There's a home for it right here. So photo finish, and afterwards you got boogers and stuff, and you don't even know if you're still sexy. God bless America. to pull off the confidence promo afterwards, that's the mark of a true champion. That you walked in like Conor McGregor, you finished like Conor McGregor.
Some of the shit that came out of my mouth this episode, I don't even remember. I was just like, what the hell was I was like, that's what I said. It was so funny to see some of the stuff for the first time. And yeah, when I said that, honestly, that was my first time hearing it. I was like, damn, I don't remember saying that. I remember saying something completely different. But thank you. It was a fun elimination. It was just this challenge alone has been one of my favorites so far. Just being fully immersed in it in every way and just giving everything that I can to every challenge, everything, just giving it my all. And so far it's been good to just be able to sit back and watch it,
I love it. So do I have Nehemiah in my draft?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you do.
we did a draft before the first episode, and you were an early pick.
Oh, you were an early pick.
Yes, you were an early pick.
I upset a lot of people by grabbing you when I did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully he goes, I'm going to take Nehemiah now. And we're all like, damn.
Are you kidding me? That was going to be the next pick we all wanted.
Yes, that was everyone's pick. Thank you.
Damn. Well, thank you.
Hey, and it goes with your story of like you trying to become a legend. Like, your legend does precede you heading into this season. A lot of people remember you, I feel, very fondly. And I feel like you were one of the bigger names coming from the list that everyone was like, oh, we get to see Nehemiah again. This is going to be so cool to see him work with these people that we never seen him play a game against. And just his attitude, his adrenaline, the athleticism. It's just going to be great to watch. And you have not disappointed through these first 3 episodes.
Thank you. You've leaned out. I mean, I feel like, do you feel like you're in better shape now than you were then, or no?
Yeah, definitely.
That's right.
Yeah.
You see something? I mean, like, I know I'm in better shape right now than I was 10 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big time. I eat differently.
Exactly.
My mentality is different. I do different types of workouts, because it's more of a lifestyle than it is just of like preparing for something. So
yeah.
There
you go. All right. So I gave you the warning at the beginning of the show. You have a good Jonny Fairplay story that I probably don't remember?
Oh my gosh.
Were you were with us when the bus got stolen?
Okay, was I?
we were going to the reality bash, and we all stopped to go get something to eat, and someone stole the bus. And the bus driver was so pissed off because someone took the bus and we just came out and the bus was gone, and someone did a dip around the corner. And I would not say I'm not going to give any full details, but there was definitely encouragement from one of the hosts on this podcast.
To steal the bus?
Police came, everything. It was
Who did I Who got tricked into stealing the bus?
It was somebody from another show who I don't even know if he knew how to drive a bus, but the bus driver was so pissed. Like, because the bus driver gets off and he goes to the bathroom. We're all in the gas station. We're in like Rancho Cucamonga, and we stop on our way to Vegas and come out, and the bus is just gone, and he's pissed. He's steaming, and it's gone for like 15 minutes, and you see it coming from like behind a Walmart.
But I may have been influential in this person making this decision.
I'm not saying you were. I'm not saying you weren't.
I think you're saying I was. Oh my God, that makes me so happy.
That's incredible. Never a dull moment.
It tracks. I mean, like as I said, there's so many great stories that I get told after the fact. I'm just like, yeah. I've made a lot of bad decisions in my life, a lot of good decisions. This sounds like a good one. So as I said, I'm not sitting there holding the bag.
Right.
This is a great decision.
It is.
You know, if the guy goes, Fairplay told me to, I'm like, I don't know. What? That's crazy talk.
Hey, I can say whatever I want. You're the one who did it.
Yeah. All right. I love it. All right. Nehemiah, where can everybody find you on social media?
You can go to my Instagram. It is Nehemiah L. Clark. It's Nehemiah L. Clark. And then on there, you can find all of my stuff. I have my own Patreon. I talk spiritual mumbo jumbo, stuff that you guys probably don't want to hear, but I also do cool stuff like my own recaps and also interviewing cast members about some deep stuff. I don't ever do like recaps with cast members. I leave that to the professionals. But, you know, I talk to them about deep spiritual shit that sometimes doesn't make the show.
Awesome. And the links to your Patreon are all on your Instagram.
Yep, all on the Instagram.
Awesome. Everybody give that a try. Nehemiah, so great catching up. There I hear rumor and innuendo that COVID is on the decline, that the world as we knew it before 2020 is resuming at some point. And when it does, I can't wait to catch back up with you in person.
Likewise, man. Likewise, got to create a whole nother story just in our just in the adult side, you know, just no stolen buses. I'm for it, and I will be more than happy to hear more about that story on your Patreon if you need me to go on there and jostle my memory. Yes, loved. I would love to have that. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you Nehemiah. So much. Thank you guys. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nehemiah.
Thanks, guys. Everybody, join us next week for part 2 of the final of TJ's final of the Challenge Double Agents. And join us next week right here, Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. We will have Mark Long joining us to talk the Challenge All-Stars. Don't forget the best way to support the podcast is to become a patron. Go to adfreensfw.com. And if you like what you're hearing here, subscribe on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you podcast. Or if you want to see the video version, go to youtube.com/realitynsfw. Once again, thank you to Nehemiah. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, everybody. This has been fucking awesome. Lucy Nicotine is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck.
Researched and developed for 3 years to be made by people, not patients. Lucy's created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. Lucy also has a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine in cherry ice flavor. Each and every flavor actually does taste great, and it's convenient and discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, on flights, at work, on the go, even in the gym. I'm so excited that Lucy is sponsoring us because one of my best friends in the world, he's trying to quit smoking. His girlfriend's been getting on him for years. He's a big menthol smoker, and the wintergreen flavor is a really nice substitute for him that he absolutely loves. So this is the thing that you need to check out if you've been trying to kick your tobacco habits.
I have a family member that's tried the pomegranate, and they say it's one of the greatest tasting gums they've ever had. We're not talking nicotine gum. We're talking any gum. So if you've been discouraged by other nicotine gums, try the pomegranate. And also for the lozenge, the cherry ice is allegedly the best. And you know what? I believe them. But as far as enjoying anywhere, I heard at the gym, you get a little extra bump from the lozenge and from the gum.
Boom. It's 2020. Get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. This is the real deal, and a subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each month. It's so simple, you don't even have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down.
Reality NSFW listeners, go to lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR to get 20% off all products, including gum and lozenges. That's Lucy, LUCY.co. That's right, CO, and use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Also, I have to give this disclaimer. Warning, this product contains nicotine derived from tobacco, and nicotine is an addictive chemical. So that's lucy.co, and be sure to use that promo code SURVIVOR, and we thank them for sponsoring the Reality NSFW podcast. This episode of Reality NSFW is sponsored by Blue Chew. Say it with us, Blue Chew. Blue Chew is making waves and bringing more confidence to the bedroom by offering chewable tablets that can help men get stronger and longer lasting erections. That's right, we're giving away super hard dicks.
Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections to combat all forms of ED.
Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor offices, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is simple. Sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's all done online.
Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem here. Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy.
Hey, if you're looking to give that immunity idol to someone, or you don't want to be voted out of a crater, don't worry, Blue Chew's got you covered. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's Blue Chew, BLUECHEW.com, promo code SURVIVOR to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.